sweetheart, did you take out the trash? Who is responsible for the leftovers and plastic bags is an annoying discussion. Also in my household. However, when taking out the trash, one should not be taking it too far. It might not be molded apples or old shoes, which are problematic, but far away from the Earth, up in space, trash, in this context called space debris, can become very dangerous. What happens when the International Space Station is hit by space debris? Is there anything similar to traffic regulations in space? And which satellites have to turn right or left when risking a collision? I am Lilith, and together we will examine the problems space debris is causing and look at possible solutions. June 2021. The International Space Station is damaged by a piece of space debris too small to be tracked. The object punctured the thermal blanket and damaged the module beneath. Wait, how can it be that in an endless space, two objects are so close to each other that they collide? The clue is that space may be endless, but the areas which can be used efficiently are quite limited. These are mainly the GEO, geostationary orbit, and the LEO, low Earth orbit. Let's look at the history first. People have been enthusiastic about space ever since. They have believed in gods living up there, analyzed stellar constellations, and researched light phenomena. Beginning in 1957, we started manufacturing satellite systems. As typical for us human beings, when thrilled by all the possibilities and technological magic, too little is thought about the consequences. Space objects might not produce plastic components which pollute our oceans. Nevertheless, at some point they turn into debris, which is not only annoying but becomes dangerous quicker than expected. Currently, there are more than 150,000 objects flying around in orbit, and many more are scheduled. SpaceX is planning to launch 12,000 additional satellites till 2027, to name only the most famous private party operating in space. There is, however, no standardized definition of space debris, and that's a really big problem. Does a single screw from a satellite count as space debris? What about a satellite which is out of order? Moreover, it is difficult to identify which components belong to which satellite, hence, which state is responsible for the tools floating freely in space. Already at the moment, higher costs are produced due to avoidance maneuvers. These are quite complicated as existing traffic regulations, like on our streets, do not exist. A real crash might end deadly for astronauts or even people on Earth. To avoid those dramatic events happening, new rocket launches are then postponed to minimize the risk of a collision. Concluding, our current usage of space is totally unsustainable. Many theoretical models predict that an economically beneficial usage of space will not even be possible anymore in the future. Really famous is the Kessler syndrome. Let me explain this one quickly. Already in the 1970s, NASA scientist Donald J. Kessler predicted that we will soon have so much space debris that an exponential growth of trash in space is inevitable. But how can we solve this problem? There have been national legislative initiatives which aim for certification before a satellite takes off. Those regulations demand insurance guarantees, as well as so-called end-of-life strategies. This means, for example, that a satellite should be removed no later than 25 years after ceasing to work properly. But how can this work on the technical level? There are two possibilities. First, moving to a so-called graveyard orbit, where the satellites and their components remain far away from Earth. Or, second, deorbiting, where the components approach Earth again and burn up in the atmosphere. Most important when introducing these measures, international cooperation. Therefore, international bodies exist For example, the COPUS, Committee on the Peaceful Uses of Outer Space, in which lawyers as well as technicians, researchers and politicians discuss about sustainable solutions. They have already agreed upon the fact that the avoidance of space debris alone is not enough. Too much trash is already within the orbit. So we need to remove it. Crucial in this context is the debate about dual use. Methods which are used to remove debris have a potential to not only be applied in a peaceful way, but trying to remove satellites from other actors to do harm to them. But how exactly can this be done? One technique is the usage of lasers. With these, the velocity of space objects can be influenced to change the component's orbit. Another possibility is building robots, which approach and match the speed of the space objects. Harpoons also work. They connect to the dead satellites and pull them out of the way. However, it is quite difficult to remove the objects in a proper way. To determine the characteristics of the components in such a distance is very hard. It is not excluded that even while executing the operation, collisions might occur, which would lead to even more troublesome space debris. Nevertheless, we can look forward to a project by the European Space Agency, ESA, the first space mission aiming for the safe removal of a space debris component from LEO, as planned for 2025. So, stay tuned. Above all of those technical details, political as well as legal issues occur. Who pays in case of an accident? Where are the limits between peaceful and military usage of active debris removal techniques? How can it be guaranteed that your granddaughter, conducting a fruitful career as a successful astronaut, will not be hit by a million pieces of space debris? Let us know in the comments what is your personal opinion. And who knows, maybe we will even do a follow-up video before your grandchild sets off for the moon. Till then, take care about your trash and be careful when taking it out.